Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Gurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 21st of January 2025. I want to offer my prostrations, Ananta Koti Namaskara Dandavat Pranam to all the great sages, to Bhagavan, and to all the devotees, bhaktas, sadhakas, mumukshus, liberated beings in this planet, anywhere else, throughout the universe, everywhere. With that, we are continuing to examine the mystery of what is called Aksharam, and in connection to that, the great power that is called Maha-Maya. So I want to continue a bit from yesterday, where we considered Maha-Maya, based on the Shakta tradition, as absolutely real, not an illusion, not some kind of a projection of Brahman only, but actual reality. And in the Shakta tradition, meaning Shakti Upasana, there is one unparalleled, infinite power, which we cannot even possibly imagine. Nobody can imagine it at all. And that infinite Shakti is Brahman in the Shakta tradition. So the Advaitic Acharyas, like the Shankaracharya ji, etc., they consider Shakti as a projecting, veiling power of Brahman. Yes, that you can look at it that way also. Why not? But from the Shakta tradition, they don't deny that. I don't think they would deny it. But what they would say is that the Shakti is the only thing that is there. That's very interesting. They said that even the Brahman is nothing but Shakti, is also a type of power itself. Now, what is power or energy? What is that actually? Very difficult to understand or define. We have some understanding of it when we use that word. For example, when I plug in my plug into the, when I plug in my little small heater plug into the wall outlet, and then the heat comes out of the heater, what is that? That is energy that was already present in those wires. Somewhere it is stored somewhere. It has now become dynamic and active through the turning on the switch, and then it is manifesting as heat. You see, so energy, in one sense, it is unmanifested, in one sense. That is Maha-Maya, Mool Prakriti. You can say infinite reservoir, Ananta Shakti, unmanifested. But then it gets manifested. Now, this depends on which sampradaya, which guru, and which scripture one is looking at to understand the manifestation. It's a very technical subject. We would need a whole year or more to cover that. Maybe someday in the future, if that is the will of God, we'll cover it in some retreats or whatever. But it is a very, very highly esoteric and metaphysical subject as to the manifestation of Shakti, of manifestation of the undifferentiated power. I mean, it's even difficult for us to understand how, for example, a generating station that is generating electricity, how does it come into our home and how does it actually work? It would take some good amount of time to really understand that. It's not an easy thing to understand. You need some training in electrical engineering and things like that to really properly understand it. And there's not that many people even in the world understand it. Even most engineers don't know. I remember this discussion I had with my father many years back. I said, Dad, I want you to explain to me how the fossil fuel plant or the nuclear generating station, how that generates electricity and how it comes into our home and turns on the fan, all the steps. He actually knew that. And it took him like 2-3 hours to explain it. It was very complicated, very intricate process. And you can see this is developed through our own brain, human being's brain. Now, when we talk about Maha-Maya, creation of billions of universes, billions of galaxies, which we have found through James Webb telescope. It's mind-boggling. Andromeda Galaxy, the Sombrero Galaxy, the Milky Way Galaxy, galaxies upon galaxies, clusters upon clusters. Kya Shakti? What is that intelligence beyond anybody's grasp? Even our intelligence has its source in that great intelligence. Amazing. Absolutely, absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. There's no question. And the beauty of all of this is that through the various mantras that have come into the Shakta tradition, which is called the Tantra tradition. Please don't misunderstand the word Tantra, because there's a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of confusion about this word. Tantra simply means to weave together, to stitch together. Like you're weaving, you have got the pieces of yarn and you make a beautiful shawl or a beautiful cloth or whatever you're making from the yarn. Let's say you have 15 different colors of yarn and you're making some big tapestry. That stitching together, that process of stitching together is called Tantra. This is its actual definition, right? Now, in the Sanatan Dharma, there were basically two major paths that came about. One is a Vedic path, and the other is what is called the Tantra path, or Tantric, or Tantra. That is how it is pronounced. Now, why these two paths? And what is the connection between them? Well, first of all, even Ved mantras, like the Mahamrutyunjay, Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yamamrita At. This is one of the ways it is pronounced. Now you will notice that this is a Veda mantra. It's coming from the Vedas. It is also sound. So in one sense, the entire structure of sounds, all the sounds that our mouth can make, all the sounds that are present everywhere, it is a vibration. The entire cosmic reality, it is vibration, and that is what is called spanda. So now this is the bridge between the Veda mantras and Tantra. Vibration means, for example, let's say you take a violin, or let's say you take a piano, right? Any musical instrument. What the musical sounds are vibrations. But if we use the word vibration, there is a string. There is something that is vibrating. Maybe air is vibrating, like in a flute. If you take a bamboo flute, what is it that's vibrating? It's not a string, it's air that is vibrating, right? Using the various holes on that flute. If you take a violin, it is the string that is vibrating. If you take a sitar, the string is vibrating. So vibration means that some tattva is vibrating. And this is where Advaita Vedanta will say that tattva that is vibrating is Brahman, is Akshara Brahma. And the vibration and the sound that comes out, the dynamic aspect of that of that tattva that is vibrating as spandana, that is Maha-Maya. And in that vibration, billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of universes come about. Kya baat hai? This is Sanatana Dharma. When we go to these mandirs and all that, most people don't, they just have no concept of what this is actually. Ye kitni amazing baat hai ye. Of course, those who are learned pandits and sadhaks and higher evolved people, they have actual access to this. And the Rishi Parampara in the Sanatana Dharma, you will notice, they're sitting in dhyan. They're doing havan. दो ही बात थी. There were only three things actually. There was nature, there was havan, and there was dhyan. And that was called the ashram. The rishis are living in ashram. They created this because that was an access point. The mantras that came about, that became an access point into the infinite Brahman. And that is why the Sanatana Dharma, which has the Veda mantras, the 4 Vedas that were classified by Ved Vyasji, and then of course, all of the Tantra Shastras that have come. There's a whole list of them. There's thousands of them. And they are all based on vibration. And if I was to show you what the essence of those thousands of scriptures are, they are in 6 Bij mantras. And this is the beautiful thing about Bij mantra. Because what they realized is that when you speak a Bij mantra, the Bij mantra is revealed that the expansion of Prakriti is coming from a seed. It's coming from a sound seed. And they discovered, or it was revealed to them by the grace of Mahashakti, what is that seed? I'll give you an example. In the Siddhakunjika Stotram, which you've heard me speak from time to time, there is a mantra in the Siddhakunjika that has 14 sounds. Okay, here's what they are. So the Om doesn't count, and that Om is just kind of added in the beginning. Om. Here's the sounds, okay? Here's what they are. Kam, cham, tam, tam, pam, yam, sham, bim, dum, aim, bim, hum, ksham, dijagram, trotaya, diptam, kuru, swaha. This mantra is 10,000 years old, maybe more than that. Maybe more. And it has this to ksham, kam cham tam tam pam yam sham bim dum, aim bim hum ksham. This is 14 Bij mantras. The entire Sanskrit alphabet is inside this. Whole Sanskrit language. And because of that, not only, Sanskrit language is inside, all the sounds that are made in the Sanskrit language, the entire Srishti is inside these 14 sounds. Isn't that incredible? It's amazing. How can that be? But that is the reality that has been constructed. So the great rishis from thousands of years back, they brought this down. And this mantra is given by Bhagwan Shankar himself in the Rudra Yamal. It was written down by the rishis, but Shivji actually gave this mantra. Because he is the rishi. Bhagwan Shankar is also a rishi. Why is that? How can that be? Because he is also worshipping the Mahashakti. From the Shakta tradition point of view, Shivji, meaning Shankar Bhagavan, is also a bhakta of Mahashakti. Unke niche hai, Shakti ke niche hai. And Shankar Bhagavan has some power of Mahashakti. ऐसी भी एक बात है. So many times it's spoken the other way, that Shivji ki Shakti hai, Uma Devi. That's also true. That is not wrong. That is also correct. And this is also correct. How can that be? Again, we don't have time to go into that, but both are correct. It depends on the level of realization of the Rishi, and it also, from a more practical point of view, it signifies that everyone is a bhakta. Vishnu Bhagwan is also a bhakta. Lakshmi Ji is also a bhakta. Even though they are, they're forms of God, or they're Bhagwan, but they are always in the role of bhakta. That's something very interesting. This concept is there in the Swaminarayan Sampradaya. That be a bhakta. Even Bhagwan is considered, Bhagwan himself says, I am a devotee of the devotees. Kitni badi baat hai. Practical point, ye point of the sadhana for today. I'm trying to show one sadhana every day. recognize that everyone is a bhakta. Even Bhagwan Krishna is a bhakta of Shivji. Look, he's the one who spoke the Shiv Sahasranam in the Mahabharata. Bhagwan Krishna is also worshipping Shiva. Everybody's worshipping somebody. Bhagwan Swaminarayan worships Sri Krishna. Bhagwan Ram worships Shiva. You notice any of our Hindu deities, they're always worshipping somebody. Ganesh Ji is worshipping his parents, Devi Parvati and Mahadev Ji. Mahadev Ji worships the Mahashakti. He's sitting in Dhyan. Or he worships Vishnu or Ram. Everybody's worshipping somebody. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing. There's just no end to that. You find that everywhere. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make it. Radhaji and Gopikas are worshipping Sri Krishna. Then Sri Krishna himself becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and worships Krishna. So the point here is that the greatest Shakti is Bhakti. And in that Bhakti, there is Satya. That Bhakti has Satyam. It is Satya. It is consciousness. But the force of Bhakti, the power of Bhakti, the Jnana that is in Bhakti, that is absolute, undifferentiated, pure, 100% love. That is Bhakti. Sneho bhaktischa madhave. Mahatma Jnana Yug Bhuri. Sneho bhaktischa madhave. Shiksha Patri mein ye shlok, ye definition hai. This definition is there, and I've covered that in the Swaminarayan Spirituality book in a lot of detail. It's an 800-page book. Some of you have it. You can go through that. You will see, what is the power of Bhakti. To some extent it is written. It's absolutely amazing. But where is that Bhakti actually? Inside of us. It's not something to be found outside. Outside is there, no doubt. Everywhere love is present. But we use this word love. It's an English word. I mean, it has, depends how you define it and understand. The word is bhakti. The Sanskrit words are extremely important. See, because they're precise. They have a specific... See, when we use the word love, it could mean anything. He said, sometimes that word love is used just for vasanas. But we have a different word. We say vasana and bhakti. But both have Shakti, the same Shakti. Vasana may be Shakti hai, bhakti may be Shakti hai. Shakti is not different. Shakti, see that, so you got three words here. Shakti, bhakti, and vasana. And then you have karma also. See, all these words have very, very specific meanings, and they're not just a meaning, they're showing the manifestation of Prakriti, and they're showing the way towards living liberation. Each of the words in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Brahma Sutras, in the various sadhanas that are shown, they are done very precisely. Or just one more point. I know I've gone a little over time. Just one more point, and that is, any sadhana that is done, any worship that is done, any adhyatmic activities is done, the absolute foundation for that, ahankar chodo. Ahankar chodo, to hi sadhana safal hogi. Ahankar ka koi sastan hi nahi hai isme. Bilkul nahi. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Jaha aham aa jata hai, vishay o vasna aa jate hai, wanting something, wanting this, wanting that, just egotistical activity doesn't belong inside this realm. One cannot realize the blossoming of that beautiful flower. That's why we have put this rose in the background. It's the blossoming from inside of us into that state where there is absolute undifferentiated Shakti, which is Ananda. If we really want to realize God, then that's something extraordinary. Baki to kya chalta hai, sab sansari chalta hai, it goes on like that. That's fine, as it is. But those who are really connected this way, that dimension of undifferentiated Shakti opens, and when that opens, there is nothing but love. That Shakti is Bhakti. That Bhakti is towards the Paramatma, and that Paramatma is Brahman and Parabrahman. It is all one inside of us, inside of all in one one and all. And when we realize this, in this realization, we live in the differentiated world, while there is, with the glorification of the manifestation of Maha-Maya. Amazing. Amazing. All right, so we'll put it up. We'll continue on this further another day or so. Because we could spend the whole year talking about Maha-Maya. We'll have to go into that in more detail another time. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Om Tameva Mata Chipita Tameva Bandusha Sakha Tameva Vidya Drabinam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche Om Glom Hum Klim Jum Saha Jwalaya Jwalaya Jwala Jwala Prajwala Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche Jwala Hamsam Lamksham Hat Swaha. This mantra, by the way, this is the main mantra inside the Siddha Kunjika. This Glom mantra. Glom. What is that? Wo Mahaganapati ka mantra hai. If you have the teenagers and college students and all that, they can do this Glom mantra. Om Glom Swaha, Om Glom Swaha. They become extraordinary in their education and so many other areas, right? So amazing things are there. We'll talk about it from many perspectives, and then we'll continue tomorrow. Om Durga Durga Rakshini Tata Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.